Hello everyone, Anthony here. I'm gonna be responding to these Jenna Marbles comments that I got. So let's see. The first one. This is bad. It's really offensive that you would compare being strapped in a harness and being uncomfortable to being kidnapped or raped. I think it's pretty bad that you're just gonna normalize and diminish being physically restrained and held captive as just being uncomfortable. This is disgusting. It has a disgusting comparison. Just because you don't like the comparison doesn't mean it's not accurate. Jenna Marbles cares more about her animals than most people do their kids. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you there. She definitely does care about her animals. However, in this instance, she cared more about making a video than about the comfortableness of her animals. All she wanted to do was get these dogs out, put these dogs in the harnesses and get them out for the purpose of making the video, thinking, hey, maybe this is a thing that these dogs will get more comfortable and be more okay with it the more that they spend time in it. So maybe if we take them for a ride, then it'll be okay. No, that's not how it goes at all. This is uncomfortable and just truly in such poor taste. So it's not okay that my video makes you uncomfortable, but it's okay to diminish what Jenna's dogs were experiencing in her video as them just being uncomfortable. Somehow it's okay that Jenna's dog's uncomfortableness is okay, but my video, because it makes you uncomfortable, is not okay. That's pretty hypocritical, and you can't go both ways on that. This is an offensive video and truly hard to watch. Uh, like you guys keep saying that this video is offensive, and the closest that I've ever seen to anyone telling me why it's offensive is because I compared Jenna's dogs being forcefully strapped into the car to rape and kidnapping. I really don't get how that's offensive. That to me seems like an accurate depiction of what happened. All three of them being forced to the seats, raped and kidnapped, are all the use of force against another. And that's a traumatic experience, thing to experience. Just the initiation of force against someone. I really don't see how you guys don't get it through your heads that being forced to do something is not traumatic. I know you want in on the controversy bandwagon, but this is so ridiculous that this is even a controversy. This video is offensive and in very poor taste. Please get rid of it. I don't know why me posting what I did is you guys want me to get rid of the video. I'm not getting rid of the video because there's a very clear example and lesson to learn in this video that you guys just aren't getting. I know you want in on the controversy bandwagon. Yeah, I really don't want in on the controversy bandwagon because I don't really like being personally attacked and all this shit, because giving my opinion, and I know exactly what it is. Like, you guys don't agree with what I had to say either because you think that I'm wrong. It makes you look into yourself to see why to see your actions and how your actions have harmed others, or because you're a fan of Jenna Marbles and don't like people saying things that you perceive as bad against her, which I didn't say anything bad against her. Actually, I praised her in the video, but being on a controversy bandwagon, like, I don't want to do that at all. But I know like I was saying, like, I know exactly why you guys do all this stuff and give like all these personal attacks and threats and whatever to me, is because you don't agree with what I said. So you're trying to intimidate and terrorize me to silence me and get me to stop speaking. That's not going to happen. This is disgusting. You all know how much Jenna loves her dogs. To say she's being abusive to them and blowing this up, imagine how much that hurts her. Okay, so I already discussed this Jenna loving her dogs and everything thing. Abusive, yes, I already discussed the abusive thing. Imagine how much that hurts her. Yes, as soon as Jenna, well, it took Jenna, her dog, I forget which dog it was, but it took Jenna, her dog, she saw her dogs crying, not wanting to be there since way before they even left their garage, way before they even went on the trip, the little short road trip. And it took Jenna, her dog's crying and crying, the other dog not doing anything because he or she realized that they were helpless and couldn't do anything. But I think it was Peach was the one that escaped, and it took Peach escaping for Jenna to finally snap out of it and realize what she was doing to her dogs. And that's when her empathy kicked in and realized, like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to put you through this. I didn't realize what I was doing to you, which is a good thing. And what I praise Jenna for is because most people that are being abusive and uh, oppressing people or using force against people, they don't realize how they're hurting others, and they don't say sorry. They don't snap out of it and vow to never do it again. And you can see immediately when Jenna actually realized what she was doing and truthfully, honestly felt sorry for what she was doing, her dog snapped out of it and was like, oh, it's okay, I love you, I love you, like started being more affectionate and stuff to her. If Jenna kept doing that, kept initiating force onto her dogs would become skittish, and you would see the stuff that like Bunny went through. How Bunny was really traumatized and skittish of Jenna before before Jenna like took her in and slowly like got her more accustomed and started more socializing her and stuff like that. And you do that. The way to do that is by not doing anything bad, by having a establishing trust, so that the animal or the person can trust you, that you're not going to hurt them, that you're not going to initiate force on them or do anything that they're uncomfortable with or that they don't want to be done to them. Are you actually kidding me? You are part of the problem online. Jenna was trying a product that is on the market for dogs. The Rocketeer Pack is a crash-tested pet safety harness certified by Center for Pet Safety with a perfect 5-star rating. So this thing, like, it's not like, I don't know what this certification is or whatever, but it's not anything of value or significance, because the way that it sits the dogs on there, and my video is not even about this harness thing at all. I'm pretty sure I made it clear in the video. My video is not about the harness, but the way that the harness sits a dog up on its spine, putting all their body pressure onto the dog's coccyx bone or tailbone or whatever, and then also leaving the dog's arms and legs out dangling to get circulation cut off. That makes me really doubt that it's a perfect 5-star rated harness thing. The Rocketeer Pack is the only multifunctional dog harness certified for blah, blah, blah. You give advice to someone when you have no idea what you're talking about, or even state, I'm not a dog person. Just because I don't like dogs, prefer. So what I meant by that statement, and again, I'm pretty sure I cleared that up in the video, is that me not liking dogs is that I rather be around humans, and I think that a lot of times people get dogs to compensate for bad relationships with humans. To where a person's lonely, instead of finding a person that is actual friend and is actually good to them, they get a dog for that emotional connection. I rather spend my time with people than with dogs. Stop using something that is extremely difficult for her to boost your views. I don't know how I'm responsible for anything Jenna feels or anything like that. I'm, like I said, I'm not doing this to boost views or anything like that. Like I talk about stuff, and I think it's useful to see how the initiation of force onto someone can hurt relationships, and how you have to be cognizant of what you're doing to other people and stuff. I think what happened is an excellent example of that, and a good teaching point to that. The dogs were harnessed into the car safely. There were no issues until they were already moving in the vehicle. When this happened, they found somewhere to pull over and then took the dogs right home. There were no issues before they started moving, before they took the car out? No, you can see definitely in the clips that I put in my video of Marble struggling and crying, and the dogs not wanting to be there. And then Jenna pressed on and continued by saying, oh, it's okay, trying to calm them down. But there were clearly issues there. How can you suggest that this even compares to being kidnapped or raped? You are literally coming, so I already discussed how it compares to that. You are literally coming for someone who is trying out a product certified for dogs to keep them safe. I'm not coming for anyone. Like I pointed out, like I like Jenna. She made a mistake. People make mistakes. I make mistakes in relationships too. Sometimes you don't realize what you're doing, and it's helpful to be that stuff to be pointed out when it's happening. I'm not coming for Jenna at all. So uh, I have no idea what your damage is, but you seriously need to reconsider your medications. Absolutely moronic opinion and views. Yeah, that's just like a that's just like a harsh judgment on me that I don't see how I'm absolutely moronic or I have a moronic opinion or anything like that. And no, I don't take any medication. Bro, you gotta try harder than that to make Jenna look bad. She is such a caring person and an animal lover that this video makes you look dumb. So, good job making you look like the bad guy. If you're not an animal person, then everything about this video is invalid because you don't know it is taking care of a pet. You using new products thinking that it'll make their experience better or not. You don't know anything about that, so your whole point is wrong. I don't see like I'm a behavioral analysis. I don't see how I can't transfer human behavior doesn't transfer onto animals. Uh, we can clearly see that in the video that it does, and that I've explained that already, that it does transfer. Like I've never been cared for before. Like I don't know, like I can speak about being cared for. I can speak for those who have been cared for by someone else who has been parented or watched over. I can speak for my experiences about that and what I like and didn't like, and how it affected me. So to say that I don't know anything about that is uh, pretty wrong. I'm kindly asking you to reconsider your stance. I'm. I don't think I'm wrong, and no one has convinced me that I'm wrong, so I'm not going to reconsider my stance. I don't think this situation was comparable to rape in any way, and as a survivor, I just have to say that I was personally offended and hurt by that statement. So I've already explained how it was comparable to rape, is the initiation of force is the same. Uh, I don't understand why you're personally offended by that statement. I will struggle for the rest of my life because of what happened to me. So the reason that Jenna's dogs don't struggle for the rest of their life because of what happened to them is because Jenna apologized and was empathetic towards the dogs, and realized what she was doing to them and everything. That's the reason that her dogs don't struggle for the rest of their lives, and that they like immediately snapped out of it. I'm sure like if your abuser, your rapist came to you and genuinely apologized, and it wasn't so traumatic that you felt that you couldn't forgive them or whatever, like if they explained how wrong they were for what they did, and all that, and why they did it, and that stuff, uh, I'm sure you could forgive them and would forgive them as well, and you wouldn't struggle after that. That's the thing about rape, is that a lot of people that are raped aren't apologized to for it. And there's always this like, oh, take them to court and it'll make you feel better. And once they get their judgment, and that, and it, and kind of in a way it does make you feel better a little bit to see a person uh, finally have consequences for what they did for mistreating you. But then on the other hand, it doesn't really resolve your trust if your trust was broken. Like uh, you don't know if you can trust all men, or if you can trust a man again to not do that to you. So the way to do that would be to apologize, is for the person to apologize. Jenna's dogs were uncomfortable, yes, but to say it's abuse is just ridiculous. Uh, I've said that I've explained how it's abuse. So, and to compare her dogs to being strapped in an uncomfortable harness for a few minutes to rape is really problematic. So the issue isn't about, like, again, you guys keep diminishing this and normalizing something that is not okay, that should not be normal. It's the initiation of force on someone that I'm equivocating to rape. It's not being strapped in a harness that I'm equivocating to rape. If a dog is okay in a harness and is okay being there, then no, it's there's nothing wrong with that. If anyone is okay with doing something, then there's nothing wrong with that. It's a point to where it's the use of force against someone less powerful than you, or someone that can't say no, or that you're not listening to them saying no, and you're not reading their body and them saying no and stop doing it and stopping doing it. That's the traumatic part. That's the abusive part. Jenna actually cares about her dogs more than you care about your online reputation. I don't see what I did anywhere that hurts my reputation. Like, I spoke honestly about what I saw and what I thought. I didn't attack anyone or whatever. I don't get what ruins my reputation. She loves her dogs and stopped as soon as Peach wiggled out of the harness. Yeah, she stopped uh, because she saw what she was doing and how much it affected them. Like, would you forgive someone who kidnapped you after you escaped? It's like, that doesn't make it okay. Because someone escapes doesn't make it okay what happened. Uh, she's trying to product meant for dog safety of our pets. You cannot expect a dog to be comfortable sitting like that immediately. She stated it herself. So you cannot expect a dog to be comfortable sitting like that immediately. She said it herself. Yeah, I understand that. The thing is, you don't force someone or something into a situation that they don't want to be in. That's like saying, like your first time having sex, and the person is like, and you're uncomfortable and it hurts and whatever. Say that you're a girl, say that it's uncomfortable and it hurts, and the guy is like forcing you into it, saying like, oh, it'll be okay, it hurts, it'll be okay, and you're like, no, 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 it's not okay, it hurts too much. And they're like, no, it's okay, you'll be comfortable eventually, like, let me keep doing it, and eventually it won't hurt anymore. uh yeah, that's not okay. Same thing with like being kidnapped. Like, if someone kidnaps you and you're like, I don't want to be kidnapped, I don't want to be kidnapped, let me go, let me go, and they're like, no, it'll be okay, you'll eventually be okay with being kidnapped, you'll eventually get used to it. uh no. No. So how dare you accuse her of abusing her dogs when trying to protect them? uh okay, so let's say that I have a kid that I want to teach how to defend himself. So then I start beating on the kid, and someone is like, "Why are you beating on your kid? Why are you beating on your kid?" And my response is, "Oh, I'm beating on my kid because I want my kid to learn how to defend himself. So I have to beat him to show him what the rest of the world is like, so then the kid will eventually fight back." No, that is abuse, and that's the bottom line. I don't see how anyone says that that's not abuse. The argument of me trying to protect my kid and teach my kid how to fight by beating on the kid, hoping that the kid would fight back. No, that's not an argument. If you want like your kid to fight back or whatever, you can like spar with your kid and like teach your kid how to defend himself. Say that there's like a bully picking on your kid at school, you can like role play with your kid, and the kid can pretend to be the bully, and you can pretend to be the kid. And when the kid is like, Dad, every time that like, he always makes fun of my hair, he always says that I have puffy hair, and I'll never amount to be anything because everyone's gonna think I'm ugly because of my puffy hair or whatever. Then you reply back and you say like, well, what does your hair matter? Like, there's tons of people with silly hair that are successful and whatever. So you can teach your kid and say like, say that, oh, this bully, he always goes to punch me in my chest, and so then the kid pretends to be the bully, and then you're the dad, and uh, you stop the kid's hand, and you're teaching your kid how to defend himself there. You don't beat on a kid to and say like, oh, I'm doing it to protect them. No, and same thing like throwing a kid into a pool to teach a kid how to swim. No, no one learns how to behave without being taught how to behave. Uh, no one's going to learn how to swim and what the swimming motions are without having a reference on what swimming looks like and how swimming works without someone teaching them and showing them how. Same thing with relationships too, actually. Like if you grew up in with two parents that argued all the time and couldn't resolve conflicts, then you have no template or example to see how conflicts are peacefully resolved in relationships. No one taught you how. So in that sense, it's understandable why you're not good at relationships or whatever. I dare you to find an accurate reason, not for testing a product that her dogs don't like at first, that she's abusing her dogs. I dare you. Okay, I've explained that multiple times in the comments, in the video, and in this video. Edit. For people who actually love their dogs, know how to read them, and their relationship is often very good, and they know how to read their animals. So sit down and listen to what you're saying. Jenna loves her dogs and can read them like a book. Do you even know what you're saying? I don't disagree with you that Jenna can read her dogs. I don't disagree with you that it's a bad thing to be able to read the people that you're in a relationship with or that you're interacting with. That's a very good thing. But in this situation, Jenna was blinded by the fact that she wanted to make a video. So she was ignoring the signs that her dogs were given her. You literally said that being strapped in a dog harness is the same as being raped. No, I never said being strapped in a dog harness is the same as being raped. I said that the use of force is the same between all these scenarios. Being forcefully held against your will in a dog harness, being raped, being kidnapped, they're all the initiation of force. Again, I said this earlier in the video, but not once did I say that the act of being strapped in a dog harness is equivalent to being raped. If a dog likes being in the dog harness and a dog is okay with it, then no, that's not equivalent. So shut your trap, since you can get people offended from saying something that is as sensitive as that. Again, I don't see how I offended anyone at all, and no one's explained to me why they're offended. Plus, you look like a human equivalent of a stale sandwich that thinks macaroni is spicy. So you're being a hypocrite here. How can you say that it's bad for me to offend someone, that my video is offensive, and it's bad that my video is offensive, but then you can say that I'm the human equivalent of a stale sandwich? Like, it's okay for you to be offensive to me, but it's not okay for me to make a video that you think is offensive? Hypocritical. She wasn't even abusing them. She saw that the dogs were uncomfortable and took the harnesses off. No, she never saw that the dogs were uncomfortable and took the harnesses off. That's a complete lie. That's not what happened at all. The only reason that she took the harnesses off is because Peach escaped. That doesn't make it okay. Like say that you kidnap someone and then the kidnapped person escapes. That doesn't make it okay that you kidnapped them because they escaped. And she didn't take the dogs out once she saw that they were uncomfortable. She didn't take them out of the harnesses. She saw that they were uncomfortable and kept trying to make them okay and kept trying to comfort them to a situation that they're not comfortable being in. That's not okay. You should talk about PETA, since they literally can kill a dog for no reason. but you decided to pick Jenna because she did one video testing something out. No, I picked this video to talk about something that I wanted to talk about. The video showed up in my life and it was a talking point for something that I care about. I don't really see like how this relates to PETA killing dogs or anything like that. And don't you even say that I like Jenna Marbles. I don't like her channel, but I respect her since she can be nice and take criticism well. Okay, so then you do like Jenna Marbles because you say that there's things about her that you like. And also, that's not an argument. While you really just out of no context use money and curse words as a comeback. What? I really don't see how I cursed at anyone anywhere and use money as a comeback. Yeah, because people are saying so that I made these videos to make money. So saying that I don't need money and I'm not making these videos for money is a comeback to that. I'm not the one who brought up this money thing. You guys are saying that I'm doing this for money. Absolutely not. Plus, if you were a millionaire, your house would definitely not look like an Arizona apartment. Okay, so a house is the reason I don't have a house is because a house is an extremely bad investment. You never make more money on a house. All my money is in investments. Anyone that knows me and watches videos knows that my money's in investments, and also knows that I drive a car that's worth more, that I paid more than $100,000 for in cash. Everyone knows that. Just watch my videos. But yeah, with the house, like me having an apartment, it's cheap. I don't have to pay taxes on it. I don't have to worry about maintenance. So with the house, I have to worry about mowing my own lawn. I have to worry about paying property taxes. I have to worry about shoveling a driveway. If something breaks, I have to worry about that. So no, me living in an apartment isn't an argument for me not being a millionaire. You're saying that she mistreating her dog. Wow, like wow. There are people who are abusing, killing dogs, and people are getting mad that she trying on harness. Like, come on now, SMH. So yeah, you're diminishing this like everyone is. You're diminishing this and normalizing it as just trying on a harness, which it's not. It's the initiation of force and how that leads to trauma and everything. This isn't about trying on a harness at all. All right, so a lot of these comments are just repeating the same thing over and over, which I pretty much addressed. I'll look through all the other comments and everything to see if there's anything new that comes up. But other than that, then I'm just going to end this video. Oh, this is a good one too. Hopefully my battery doesn't die. I like how people are still liking my original comments, and I like how you are still hating this video, and I like how this guy is still really defensive. I don't get how me defending myself is like an argument that I'm wrong. And I said that to her. I'm like, I wouldn't need to be defensive if you guys didn't go on and on with false accusations and twisting my words around because I said things, correct things that I haven't been proven otherwise. You don't like to hear. It's called being defensive. If you were right, you wouldn't feel the constant need to prove it to everyone in the comment section. Like how is that logical? Like if you're being attacked and wrongfully accused, that defending yourself means that you're guilty makes absolutely no sense. Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to comment on, and I don't remember if I commented on, if I recorded this already or if it was part of the clip that I deleted, but the other, or not deleted, the clip that I accidentally didn't record. But to people saying that I don't own a dog, so how can I know what it's like, how to take care of a dog? I was taking care of myself before. I was parented before. I was a kid before. I've experienced these things. I know what I like and don't like. I know what works and doesn't work. I'm a behavioral analyst. I see these things. I know how to correct them. I've successfully corrected them hundreds of times. Like, so to say that because I'm a dog person, I'm not allowed to, because I don't have a dog, I'm not allowed to speak about this is just like horribly wrong. Say that there's a store owner being robbed. I don't know that being robbed is bad. like I can't speak about the store owner being robbed because I'm not a store owner myself. The logic just doesn't make sense here. These are other comments that weren't in reply to me, but it says, okay, but Jenna has had her dogs in a car seat before and they didn't consent. We can't know at least to it, but you weren't talking then, so what's the problem now? The new car seat? No, I don't watch all of Jenna's videos, and the problem is just that this is something that I saw. Are you saying we should just let all pets free because nobody has their consent to own them, so all pets are just kidnapped or raped or held against their will? Okay then. No, this is why you treat your children and your animals and the people that you're in charge of caring for. This is why you treat them well, because they don't have a choice of who's taking care of them. They don't have a choice to leave. They don't have they never had a choice or a decision in this. That's why you treat the people that you have control over, that you're protecting and caring for. That's why you treat them well. So no, I don't think you just let them free. I think you just treat them well. What you're saying is that you shouldn't be forced into doing something, which is correct, but not if it's for the greater good of someone who cannot decide for themselves. All right, so let's talk about this coronavirus stuff actually. So you think it's okay to be forced inside of your home because you going out is dangerous? Do you think it's okay for the police to barricade you in your home, to stand guard outside your home, to lock you inside of your home because it's for the greater good of you? No, I don't think you would be okay with that at all. And like most of the time, it's not for the greater good of you. For example, if you have a business and it's 2 months now of this lockdown that non-essential businesses have been closed and your business is going out of business because you can't pay bills, you can't pay rent and mortgage, you can't pay your employees. This paycheck protection program thing, the stimulus, so the paycheck protection program thing was only a 10-week loan that 75% of it would be forgiven if that 75% went to pay employees, pay payroll to employees. Do you think you're just going to count on the government to just hopefully hand you over money to make sure your business stays whole and stays operating and everything? Keep in mind that comes at a cost down the line in the future in the form of higher taxes and stuff like that, or inflation. So all things that take money out of your own pocket. And the other thing that I wanted to talk about is that the distinction in this comes at the point of understanding, the point at which you understand why you should be inside, why you can't go to work and why you can't pay your bills, why you're being locked in your house, why you can't get a haircut or go golfing. When you're told why it's unsafe to do these things, then you're more likely to obey. For example, like trying to get a kid to brush their teeth and they don't want to brush their teeth. Well, then you explain to them why brushing their teeth is good for them. It's simple negotiation. Like you leverage what you want someone to do, you leverage it or position it in a way that it benefits them. So you tell your kid like how about like cavities and gum disease, and say like talk about like bad breath and how like people don't want to talk to you. You won't make friends if you have bad breath. You'll get made fun of and stuff like that, and you'll lose like job opportunities and that stuff. With enough talk and enough time about this, and that's why people are okay with staying inside their house and with all these like extra safety measures because of the coronavirus, because they understand why the coronavirus is deadly and why it's harmful to them and stuff. So if like the government just went out and said where you can't run your businesses, you have to stay inside, you can't go to work, you can't pay your bills anymore, and don't give a reason why, then there's going to be protests. And don't say that you wouldn't protest that, doing stuff that you're being forced to do without a logical reason. For example, like when I mentioned golfing, like the cops coming to you when you're walking in the park or golfing, like, and just saying, oh, it's because you'll spread the virus. Like, no, that's not logical. Like, if you're walking in the park by yourself, you're not spreading the virus. If you're going golfing by yourself, you're not spreading the virus. But yeah, the point of that is the point of this is when they understand and agree with you, and then that's when they willingly obey, and do what you advise or what you recommend or whatever. Not them obeying you because you're threatening them with punishment or force otherwise, to obey and listen to you. And you don't give any silly, like, because I said so, because I'm the parent arguments. Like, you're not going to get anyone to listen to you if you do that, if you use force against them. So obviously this doesn't apply to dogs because dogs don't have the capability of understanding these things. And this is why, like, dogs will never see a benefit to them. This is why you can't negotiate with dogs. And only other way would be like, short of, you say like, oh, if you do this, you get a treat. Like, oh, give me your paw. If you give me your paw, you'll get a treat. Like, that's how you can train dogs. But your only other recourse would be to ease them into it and get them comfortable at it in the first place, or get them eventually comfortable with it. So for example, and Jenna knows this too, because we saw her talking to Marbles, saying like, it's okay, if it's too much for you, let me know and we can take you out. Because you're never pushing them more than they're willing to handle and more than they want to handle. You're not forcing them to do it. But obviously when Jenna was like, it's okay, if it's too much for you, let me know and we can take you out, that turned out to be a lie, and that erodes trust. And keep doing that and more protest happens. Instead, she tried to convince them that it would be okay. And yeah, like I said, that erodes trust and gets them more agitated and everything. Or like we saw with Kermit realizing he was helpless and becoming motionless and giving in. For example, like I could talk about myself and my sister as children, because my parents definitely weren't that good to us at all. My sister was the one who would protest, and she would have boyfriends when she wasn't allowed to. She would sneak out of the house when she wasn't allowed to or whatever. And my parents would keep like punishing her and yelling at her and all this stuff. And then me, I saw that, and I knew like if I had a girlfriend, or if I socialized or left the house or made any friends, that I would be subjected to these punishments that I saw my sister going through. So I stayed in my room and I didn't talk to anyone or anything like that. So that's what I see when I saw like Kermit just sitting there being motionless and helpless and everything. And it's the same thing, like easing people or whatever into things. It's the same thing, like if you're afraid of talking to a girl, say that your friend is afraid of talking to girls, you don't just like start forcing them to talk to girls and push them more than they want to do it. For example, like with me, I was at a bar with my friends like a couple years ago, and I was wearing a maroon hat, like a winter hat, and then this other girl at the bar was wearing a maroon winter hat, and my friends kept saying like, Anthony, go talk to her, Anthony, go talk to her. And I'm like, no, I don't want to talk to her. And like, I was nervous and I wasn't really interested. I didn't want to be forced to talk into someone. So then my one friend was a girl, and she goes and buys this girl a drink and says that it's from me. So that this girl goes to the bartender and says, hey, can you buy that girl with the maroon hat a drink and say it's from Anthony? And so then they did, and that just made the situation even worse and more uncomfortable for me. But like, once I knew that I had to get over my fear of talking to girls and everything, that then I pushed myself to do it on my own and do it the way that I saw fit and what I was comfortable with, and say that like something happened and I was like embarrassed or nervous or whatever, then I like went home and recuperated and then eventually went out and did it again. And the same thing, like if you ever watch the show Hoarders, like you watch the show Hoarders and the person comes in to like help out, and they slowly ease the person into getting rid of stuff that that they don't want or they don't need by picking the least valuable thing to them and showing them like, hey, it's okay. Like once a person realizes that throwing stuff, that things aren't that important, that throwing stuff away is okay, that they'll be okay with it, then you move on to things that are more important to them, and do that slowly. But once you force them to do that, then they either shut down or fight back, and you don't have anywhere to go from that except like waiting a long time and then trying again and correcting your mistake of using force against them to do it. And the same thing with germaphobes and people with OCD and whatnot too. And actually, conversely, this is why people do things that are harmful to themselves too. Like if they're told like smoking cigarettes will make you cool, or smoking weed will help you relax, or act like Tana Mojo and people pay attention to you, because like you're so in this very sentence, or smoking cigarettes will make you cool. So this is what I was talking about, negotiating. So this person is being convinced because this make you cool is the benefit part to them. Smoking weed will make you relax is the benefit part to them. Act like Tana Mojo and people pay attention to you is the benefit part to them in the negotiation. But so then and likely, most likely, or not likely, but in the times that people actually do this, smoke weed because they think it'll make them relax, or smoke cigarettes because they think it'll make them cool. For example, like I used to love the band The Strokes when I was a kid, and that's one of the reasons that I started smoking a long time ago. But if they have a person that they trust that can tell them the consequences of these things and why smoking cigarettes won't make you look cool, and how it'll affect your health, and your insurance rates will go up, and heart damage or lung damage and all that, then toddlers shouldn't have to eat if they don't want to, right? That's what you're saying? Yeah, don't force your kid to eat. Say that your kid doesn't want to eat broccoli. Well, find out why they don't want to eat broccoli. Find out, is it because they don't like the taste of broccoli? Well, then work with the kid and to find a vegetable that they do like the taste of, and also explain that the reason that we eat vegetables is because it's healthy for us. It boosts our immunity, it strengthens our vision, our hair, our eyes, everything like that. Explain to them why it's good. Like, and again, we can think about the coronavirus here now with this. If you don't have a good diet, you're more susceptible to getting sick from the coronavirus. If you don't eat your vitamins and eat healthy, you don't have a good immune system that's more likely to bring it off. So that's why I have started taking vitamins, because of that, and that's why we exercise, that's why we do all that.